Before I get started with this story, let me give a shout out to my patron Jason on Patreon for sending me this story. And as you can see right here, this is going to be one of those brutal type of stories based on the condition of the man that you see before you. This man's name is Elliot Reed. He's 50 years old, and on October 29th, he was the victim of what I would like to deem a hate crime at the hands of a man by the name of Collin Joseph Fries, who is 25. So he was brutally attacked by a man that's half his age. And I'm going to put his picture up there once I get a little bit more into the story. So basically what happened was Elliot was riding his bike, just a regular day for him riding his bike, and all of a sudden he was viciously attacked by Collin Joseph Fries. And when I say viciously attacked, well, you can see the effects of that right here. And of course, Collin is a PC male, and he looks like he just came out of a cave. Like they said, he was beaten violently, like bad, to the point where I believe he was still beating on him even while this man was unconscious. So it's not like the guy was getting a fighting chance to fight back. He was beating him even after he was down and continued to hit him, even after he was knocked out, and continued to still attack this guy for reasons unknown. But right now, as far as I am concerned, this was a racially motivated attack. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this article. It's coming out of Texas, and we'll see what else they're talking about. Elliot Reed, age 50, was out on his daily morning bike ride in his Seabrook, Texas neighborhood on October 29th when 25-year-old Collin Joseph Fries pulled his vehicle up alongside him at a stop sign and began harassing him. "You need to get out of this neighborhood because you're making a lot of people nervous," Fries, a white man, told Reed, a black man. At that point, it became racially motivated. And how ironic that I'm doing a series on sundown towns. People tend to think sundown towns don't still exist. Look at what this man just said. And this is a 25-year-old telling this to a 50-year-old. Mind you, he's 25. He never lived through Jim Crow. This guy right here, however, well, he didn't live through Jim Crow either, but he's a lot closer to Jim Crow in age opposed to the one that attacked him. People keep saying, like I said, Dub S is a legacy. It carries on over and over and over for legacies and more legacies to come, and they don't want it to stop. Like I said, not far removed from their ancestors. Just like I did that video about them two little pipsqueaks down in Florida that wanted to do Columbine style shooting, and they weren't even born when Columbine happened. Let's see. It says, according to the police incident report obtained by Bicycling, the assault happened near the 100 block of Hampton Springs Drive and Lakeside Drive. Both Reed and Fries live nearby. In an interview with ABC 13, Reed said he crossed the median of the road to try to distance himself from Fries, but Fries followed him and continued harassing him. "You don't live here, and if I catch you, I'm going to do something to you," Fries threatened, according to Reed. Fries got out of the car, and that's when Reed said the man started calling him the N-word several times over. Reed tried telling Fries that he did indeed live in the Seabrook neighborhood, and at one point flagging down a nearby neighbor to verify. Reed also began recording the altercation with a cell phone. Fries then chased Reed across the road and onto the sidewalk and started attacking him. I would not have pulled out my phone to start recording him. I know that's like the go-to thing to actually do, but I would have tried my best to defend myself because this guy is clearly hostile. I remember seeing a video where it was a black guy. He was riding his bike or something like that, and some white guy started to mess with him. That man picked that bike up and launched it at that guy, and it hit him square in his eye. I'm almost certain he fractured a few things on his face and did heavy damage to his eye. Because I would have picked up that bike and started using it to defend myself if I didn't have anything else to defend myself with. And that's what black people have to get into the habit of, is because you never know when it's going to happen. It's just that that particular day just happened to be his day, unfortunately. Luckily, he's still alive. And luckily that this POS did not kill him. Because the way he continued to beat on him after he was unconscious, you would think that he was trying to beat him to death. So and mind you, he didn't do anything to him. He just attacked him because he said, you coming in this neighborhood and it's making people nervous, even though he already lived in the neighborhood. We already know the code speak because he's a black man in what could possibly be a predominantly white neighborhood. As confirmed by 2 eyewitnesses in the police incident report, Fries began punching Reed until he was unconscious, then continued to beat him. Reed physically suffered a fractured cheekbone, cuts to his face, requiring numerous stitches, a broken tooth, and a burst blood vessel in his eye. Fries was arrested nearby soon after. According to document reports obtained by Bicycling, he's currently being charged with a misdemeanor assault, bodily injury, and potentially faces up to a year in county jail and up to $4,000 in fines. Only misdemeanors, y'all. Only misdemeanors. And $4,000 in fines. Only misdemeanors. And they keep dragging their feet for black people to get a hate crime bill. This was clearly a hate crime, but they didn't even give him that. They didn't even give him any felony charges. They went straight to misdemeanors and up to a year. Up to, meaning that it could be less than, but not more than a year. However, in the incident report by Seabrook police who responded to the attack, it's described as assault causes serious bodily injury, which would be a felony. The initial arrest charged by Seabrook police is also listed as assault causes serious bodily injury. Bicycling reached out to the Harris County District Attorney's Office about the discrepancy in Fries' charge and about what constitutes serious bodily injury and whether his assault will also be prosecuted as a hate crime. A representative for the district attorney's office told Bicycling, "This matter remains under investigation. When police come to us with a possible crime, it is the beginning of the process, not the end, as we review all the evidence and apply the law to making charging determinations. In this matter, a prosecutor advised an officer that he would need to present document medical evidence, such as a statement from a treating physician at the hospital that the injuries met the legal definition of serious bodily injury in order for an increased charge to be filed. The officer has yet to get back with prosecutors with any such evidence." Are y'all hearing that? A load of BS. So you have to basically prove that this thing could be advanced or leveled up to a certain crime. So look at this picture. Look at what transpired leading into that. Is that not enough evidence? It's crazy how even as a black man in America, you can get your ass beat by PC and they still have to determine if it's a hate crime or if it's a felony. But they'll throw a misdemeanor, and if they can't throw a misdemeanor, they won't throw a charge at all. I'm telling you, the issue we go through on a daily basis is sickening. And they wonder why we tend to rebel in a certain way. When the prosecutors did not hear back from the officer, they subpoenaed medical records for review, and we do not yet have those records. A treating physician must be willing to testify that the below standard has met 46 serious bodily injury, means bodily injury that creates a substantial risk of death or that causes death, serious permanent disfigurement, or protracted loss or impairment of the function of any bodily member or organ. What happens with regards to whether a charge is increased or a hate crime enhancement is added will depend upon the totality of the evidence, a representative for the DA's office told ABC 13. See what they're doing here? It was a hate crime. It started off verbal and it went physical. That was a hate crime 2 times right there. But like I said, when it comes to us, they always have to determine if it's a hate crime or not, just like they always got to do a study to determine if we get reparations or not. It's always a study. It's always an investigation. But with everybody else, they can upgrade it. Look at that white guy in North Carolina who got $10 million because he said he was being discriminated against and got fired because he's a white guy and he was being replaced by a white woman and a black woman. And he got paid under the reverse racism shtick. Reed's wife, Angie, also was interviewed by ABC 13. He was attacked because he is black. She said, "I don't care where you live. You don't deserve to be disrespected by the color of your skin." Fries was released from jail on a $100 bond. Let me pause this right quick. This is the POS who did it. I had to pause it right quick because I was getting too far down the article and almost forgot to put this POS's picture up there, but this is him. This is the one that attacked that man viciously. But let me continue. Fries was released from jail on a $100 bond on October 31st, according to court documents, and his next court date is December 9th in a non-trial setting. So the black guy who got viciously attacked by this person has to recover in hopes that the charges can get upgraded to a felony, because they only hit this guy with misdemeanors, and they said, wait a minute, the charges that you hit him with should have been felony charges. Y'all need to go back and rework that. Why are they misdemeanors? But see, they always move the goalposts when it comes to them. Now, if the role was reversed and this black guy did to this white guy, first off, the story would have blew up. It would have probably been everywhere, and they would have hit this man with all kind of felony charges, even charges that wouldn't have even been accounted for as far as where they stand when it comes to a story such as this. But they rearranged everything around to benefit this guy and go against the victim. $100 bond. $100. And he bonded out. That's all he got, was a $100 bond, which means it was probably, maybe if it was 10%, it was $1,000. But still, after he did what you saw in the previous picture, after what he did there, that is what he got. Let that sink in. But then again, this is Texas. So are we really surprised? Because I'm not. But yeah, this is the loser, the lame, the dub S who did that to this man. I would be, if I was the man who was the one who was attacked, I would be hitting every pocket I possibly could. Just on the fact that you think that me getting this damage done to me was a misdemeanor, and you let this guy bond out on $100. It's some wild shit going on in this world, I'll tell you. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this story down in the comments. And I hope that the victim makes a speedy recovery.